Hi there. In this video, we're going to go through looking at lab report templates in neXus 360, so the templates themselves and how we actually design those. So we're just logging into the website now. I'll be logging into the website as an administrator just so I have all the privileges, but you would not be having so many privileges. They'll be set by your lab manager depending on your role in the organization. So we just log in, and this particular website has two-factor authentication. So I'll actually get a token or number sent to my smartphone, and I'm just going to type this in. So what I want to do here is just introduce you to the lab reports themselves, but your accessibility to these within neXus 360 depends on the permissions being assigned to you by your lab manager. So the way the lab manager does that is at the installation by going into Manage, Security, and Groups. And let's look just at the lab manager group as an example. So we click on the pencil here and we can see what this group has permissions to do or not to do. So if we have a look down, scroll down a little bit here. So we've got a lab reports category. So here they can view lab reports, create lab reports, edit lab reports, but we haven't given them permission to delete lab reports. So this needs to be set up by your manager, depending on what you need. But an important distinction is the difference between report templates, which are your Profusion PSG report templates in neXus 360, which have a different YouTube video, versus lab reports, which is what we're showing today. So now that we've got these permissions set up, you log in as a group. What I want to do initially is just show you what the reports look like. So if you've got permission to see these, you'll have this tab up the top saying lab reports. We'll just click on that. And I've got 4 example reports here. Now, some of the data is meaningless. It's simply because this is a demo site and the data hasn't been set up as in a clinical environment. So what we're actually going to do is we've got these 4 reports that just show how it generally works. So I'm going to show you what they look like. Then I'm going to show you the wizard tool, the embedded reporting tool that was used to populate these. Now, if you wanted, if you found these reports useful, we could actually provide them as default in your neXus 360 installation. At the moment, we don't, but we can do that if you wanted. So let's have a look just in terms of meaningful data at the last one first. So we're looking at study count by sleep diagnostic code. So click on the eyeball, and I'm the lab manager. I come in, I just want to look at how many studies by a certain diagnostic code have been conducted within a certain time period. This report has been pre-configured for various time periods, and you can change that up here on the top left. So we could change the start date and the last date for the report period and submit that if we wanted to. Once the report's actually been generated, just up here on the top left, you can see the Save button. So you actually have the ability to save this as a variety of different file types. The most common is going to be Adobe PDF or Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel. Okay, neXus 360 does not have Microsoft embedded within it. Okay, so if you want to save it either as Word or Excel, you then need to have your own copy of Office or Office 365. So this is what one of the reports looks like. I'm just going to shut down the tab and we'll have a look at the other one. So this is study count by site and service type. Okay, so here over a certain time period, I just want to have a look at my sites that I have. And these are all fictitious, it's just my demo site. But I can have a look at study types as well. So for example here, it's showing me how many EEGs have been done over the various sites that I've got configured on my neXus 360 server. Then common reports that we often get asked for are workflow times, either by site. So we want to compare, lab manager might want to compare, what site has a delay in getting reports done and where in the process that delay is, or compare it by lab physician or reading, interpreting physician, for example. Now in these 2 reports, because it's just a demo site and I have not moved through the various reporting stages like you would in a clinic, the data is going to be meaningless, but you can get an idea of the actual template and format of the report. So let's have a look at average workflow times by site. Okay, So we have a look here, and we can see in the All Access site how long the studies typically stay in available stage for versus then going to completed. And once again, this data here doesn't make sense, but basically you get an idea of how the report will look. We'll do the same by having a look at average workflow times by lab physician. Okay, so here it is, average workflow times by lab physician, showing the different lab physician names that you have on the left-hand side and the study states and how long the studies typically stay in each of those states for by physician. Okay, but once again, meaningless in terms of the actual values populated here on my demo site. So now, how do we actually build these? And this video is not going to be an extensive tutorial. It's just going to show you how to actually get into the tool to build it and also where you can find help. So let's close these report tabs down. So now to actually see the report templates that have generated these, provided you have the permission, you go to Manage, Templates, and Lab Report Templates. This will populate the location whereby you can actually delete reports, so the trash can here on the left-hand side, or edit the reports themselves. Over on the right-hand side, you've got an Add Lab Report, so you can generate a brand new lab report if you wish. But we're going to go in here and just have a look at study count by sleep diagnostic code. So we'll click on the pencil, and this will open the inbuilt editing tool within neXus 360. So there's no need to go and purchase another copy of Microsoft Access, for example, or Crystal Reports. So you have a look, you can quickly go through the file menu. So if we go to File, you can see it actually has some templates as well. So standard report versus master and detail report. And then you've got these various tabs at the top that will give you a whole range of different functionality. So if I'm in the Home button here, and let's just have a quick look at some of these sections. So additional page information, including width, how many columns we have in our report, various appearances and what we want to have it look like, behaviors in terms of how you're actually resetting page numbers or printing headers, etc., and a design section. Okay. One useful thing here as well is once you've gone through all this and built your report, you actually have this preview tab. So if we preview this, you can see this is what we saw before in neXus 360 itself. So in terms of where do you get help for this? So we'll go back into the neXus 360 interface, and of course you've got online help here. So let's just go help into the view help section, and there's quite an extensive bunch of information on the lab report templates section for neXus 360, and you can find this by going into Manage, Templates, Lab Report Templates, and configuring here. So this is what we just had a look at here, is basically adding lab reports or going in and having a look at data or the report designer itself and the various ribbons. So this is just an example of what you can see. I hope that gives you a nice introduction to neXus 360 in regards to lab reports and the embedded lab report builder. Thanks for your time.